Let's talk about limited hip extension during run gait. We can see this runner is staying pretty flexed overall, and if we look at the graph of his hips, we can see that if 0 is neutral hip extension, he's barely ever getting past neutral. We would love to see a lot more hip extension. That would help him be a lot more powerful. Now, I could tell him, you need to extend your hip more when you run, but the motor learning research is very clear that internally focused cues, like the one I just gave, you need to extend your hip more, it's focused on something internal to the body, that's far less effective than an externally focused cue, giving him something outside his body to focus on. So what would likely be a lot more effective is to show him this graph in his AiKYNETIX Run Gait Analysis, and then say, now I'm going to ask you to run again, and I want you to try to get this graph to at least 5 degrees of hip extension this time. And then give him some time to explore in a mindful way, and maybe I give him different cues to see what works for him. I might say, imagine you're going to help the treadmill belt back with your foot, back behind your body. I might ask him to imagine a string at the top of his head, gently pulling up in a way that opens up all the spaces in between the bones in his spine. Ask him if there's other things to think about that work for him, and let him explore. Run gait is individualized within certain constraints, and so I want him to pick the strategy that works for his body. And then we could repeat the run gait analysis and see how close he is to his target. This also makes it sort of a game, which makes it just more interesting and more fun.